Rewind. Glad y'all could join me. We're gonna look back at the '89 Super Bowl, or as y'all like to call it, Super Bowl 23. I like to call it the '89 Super Bowl. But before we get started today, I'd like to remind everybody to go to twitch.tv/, Niner Faithful Radio to join us for all our live streams, for all our shows. That's Red and Gold Rewind, Faithful Talk, Niner Faithful Radio, Prime Time with Mr. Nice Guy, and Good Morning Niner Empire. For the Faithful, by the Faithful pre-launch sale is coming July 30th. You can save 20% on all our designs. I actually just uploaded some new ones today that we're going to release here pretty quick. So go to ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop for all the details. And with everything opened up, we like to remind everybody to go to seatgiant.com and use the promo code NinerFaithfulRadio to save on all your concert, theater, and sporting event tickets. That website again is seatgiant.com, and the promo code is Niner Faithful Radio. Get your officially licensed Niner gear by using our affiliate link. It costs you nothing more, and it really helps the show out. The link will be in the description, or you can go to ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop and go ahead and click on it. We have a banner right there on the homepage. Speaking of ninerfaithfulradio.com, go ahead and go there to check out all our interviews with Roger Craig and Mr. Ian Williams, and check out our blogs and previous episodes for all shows. And you can go ahead and follow us on social media. On Facebook and Instagram, it's at Niner Faithful Radio, and on Twitter, it's Niner Faithful R. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this show started.
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption than a man's seat. Navarro Bowman, who could not cover an onside kick, catches a deflected pass for an interception and runs it 7 miles for a touchdown.
You are now tuned in to Red and Gold Rewind, exclusively streamed at twitch.tv/Niner Faithful Radio.
All right. I decided to choose this particular game because, this game means a lot to me. This is the game that I became one of God's most blessed creatures, and 49er faithful. So, I was told, obviously, I don't remember, I was only 2, almost 3 years old, but I was told I got off my grandpa's lap, waddled to the TV, pointed at Jerry Rice, and said the words that would forever change my life. I like him. And ever since then, you know, it's it's been red and gold till I'm dead and cold. But I thought that this would be appropriate to get into this game and everything like that. A few notes on the '88 season. I found the '88 season one of the most interesting of the 5 Super Bowl seasons because I think a lot of time us faithful, picture this dynasty and picture everything perfect, and we were 14-2 every year, or 15-1. Joe was MVP every year. Everything was smooth. There was never adversity, and I think that you know it's important to note that this season was not perfect. Matter of fact, if you go to ninerfaithfulradio.com and check out our interview with Mr. Roger Craig, one of the questions I asked him was to talk about his favorite moment. And I actually said non-Super Bowl moment, but he went ahead and he named this season as his favorite, season favorite moment as a Niner, just because of all the adversity the team faced. I mean, we started off the year 4-2, and then went ahead and went into a little bit of a tail slide, and we went and ended up the season 10-6. But at one point, we were 5-11, or 6-11, or 6-5. Why did I say 6-11? 6-5. Week, going into week, 12 and everything like that, and the playoffs were on the line, and it was going to be no joke. And there was a chance that we weren't going to make the playoffs, and the Niners went ahead and won you know, four of their last three or four of their last five in order to get into the playoffs and win the NFC West and, revenge the 87 season with a drumming of the Vikings and then go into the NFC Championship, beat the Bears. Keena Turner's famous quote of who would have thought the West Coast finesse ass 49ers would come into the backyard of the Bears in the coldest day in January and beat the Bears in their own backyard or something like that. But I'm messing up the quote. I know I am. But it was also Bill Walsh's only road victory in the playoffs of his whole entire 10 years as the Niners head coach. And so it was a magical season. And so I think when that's of course the transition, the team, Bill Walsh was working in Steve Young. There was, if you listen to the America's Game of the '88 Niners, Bill Walsh talked about how Joe wasn't healthy, and the players seem to think he was. Joe thinks he was. Let's be real. Bill Walsh was never sold on Joe Montana just being the quarterback forever, and so everybody who's studied Niner history knows that Joe Montana wasn't even Bill Walsh's first choice at quarterback in '79. It was because the Niners didn't have a first round pick that the Niners ended up taking Joe in the third round. And so, it was a lot of transition. Harris Barton is one of the players that gives interviews of the '89 Niners on the America's game. And he talks about how it was a team in the transition. You were starting to bring in younger players. We all know Bill Walsh's famous saying of it's better to get rid of a player a year too early than a year too late. And so this was a transition. You were moving on from the teams of '81 and '84 and transitioning into the teams of the late '80s and then the early '90s. And you had Harris Barton taking over for Keith Farnhorst. You had the team was looking to transition from Joe, although Joe was paid several more seasons. And then Roger Craig was slowly he was going to be there for a couple more years, but he was slowly transitioning out. And so, excuse me. So, hold on for a second. Oh, it went down the wrong pipe. Sorry, y'all. But you had teams that was in transition, and Bill Walsh talked about early in the season and throughout the season, it was frustrating to the team wasn't a cohesive unit like he thought it was. Bill Walsh's teams were known for executing on all cylinders. And in '88, we were far from executing on every cylinder. And so you get into the playoffs. We beat the Vikings. We beat the Bears. And it's Super Bowl in Miami, Super Bowl 23. A really great, watching the game back this week, it was very interesting for me to see that it wasn't even the greatest game. It had the greatest, one of the greatest endings of Super Bowl history, but it wasn't the greatest game throughout, through quarter. Matter of fact, at halftime, the score was only 3-3. This was definitely an old school defensive type of game. The Niners, they started off the game with the ball, and they went, I believe, yeah, they went 6 plays, and ended up, on the last play, Joe fumbled and ended up recovering his own fumble. And then, the Niners D was able to force the ball back. And then it was a Mike Kofor field goal on the second possession. And then the Niners didn't score the rest of the first half. And it was, 119 left in the second half or the first half that a Jim Breach 34-yard field goal tightened it up. And, it was a slugfest at that point. And you see on the opening possession of the third quarter, the Bengals actually took a 6-3 lead. Then Joe comes back and leads the Niners on another scoring drive with a Mike Kofor field goal. a 32-yard Mike Hofer field goal to bring it to 6-6. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you have the first kickoff return for a touchdown in Super Bowl history. I might be mistaken on that one, but it was for 93 yards. And I remember thinking, this is 50 seconds left in the third quarter. You're going in the fourth quarter. The Niners are down by 7 points at this point, and you're thinking, uh-oh, you know, might we see the first loss in the Super Bowl for the Niners? But I think that luckily Cincinnati was smart enough, and Sam Weiss, who used to be the quarterbacks coach for us in '81, rightly knew that, hey, as long as you were facing number 16, the game was never over. You never have that game won. And Joe brings us back 2 times. Uh, he ends up on the next drive and ends up being a uh 3 yard drive, and Joe hits Jerry for a 14-yard touchdown to make the score 13-13. Then Jim Breach hits another 40-yard field goal with three 3 yard or to make the score 16-13 Cincinnati. And then it happened with 3:20 left in the ball game. Joe at his best. I mean, obviously Super Bowl 24 was Joe's best game. His best overall game in the Super Bowl. But I think the greatest drive, the greatest moment of Joe's probably career came on this drive. The Niners went, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plays. No, that can't be right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 plays, 92 yards. We all famously know that right before the drive starts, Harris Barton, who was a really known as a worrywart and a kind of a celebrity chaser, went ahead and Joe gave the most famous lines in Super Bowl history when he said, "Hey H, look down there. That's John Candy in the end zone eating popcorn." And I think that just shows Joe Montana, Joe Cool at his finest. You're 92 yards away from the end zone. You got to kick at least a field goal to tie. Touchdown could win it. It's the biggest drive of his career, probably at that point. Obviously, the catch with um we got Joe just at his finest. I mean, he hits JT on that 10-yard slant. One of my favorite pictures I have is John Taylor. I'm flexing the Niner tattoo, and he's pointing at it and everything. And I got a faithful then, faithful now flag, and he signed it the faithful then. And I thought that was pretty cool to be able to have a picture with John Taylor and to look at him and say, hey, look, next time you and Jerry get in an argument, you can say that you did something that Jerry never did. You kind of gave winning touchdown in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, with only seconds remaining. And although Jerry was the MVP of that game, we all know that he didn't score that game winning touchdown. It was John Taylor. So, and a lot of people will say that Joe almost threw a pick the play before, but to that I reply the age old famous saying of there's only close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And so before I go ahead and break down that drive a little bit more, we're going to go ahead and we're going to run a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Wow, what a rookie mistake. Had my mic muted. What a rookie mistake. But yeah, so you know, Bill Walsh calls his last play as Niner coach. He was famously did not have the team, know that he was going to retire. He didn't want it to be, oh, win one for the Kipper. And I think that a lot of people say Bill Belichick is the greatest coach in NFL history. And I always like to argue that because to me, we've seen Bill Belichick get out coached. Of course, we saw it with Bill Walsh too, but we've seen him get out coached in the big game and let moments get to him. And I just don't feel that we saw that with Bill Walsh. Obviously, the pressure of Eddie D and the dynasty is what ultimately drove him into retirement. But still, that to be able to handle that pressure and just knowing that that's going to be your last game as a pro coach. He of course went on to coach Stanford, but knowing that that's going to be your last game as a head coach and being able to remain cool and calm and collected. And they say that Bill Walsh was always famous for taking a nap before the Super Bowl, and he did that to show that his players, hey, I'm calm, cool, collected. I'm ready to go. I'm at ease. I'm under total control. And I think that, why we all hope that Kyle Shanahan can be the second greatest coach in Niner history. That's why I just don't think that he will never be Bill Walsh because Kyle can't. We saw in Super Bowl 54, Kyle just, I won't say he can't handle the high pressure moments, but he just, Bill never was soft. Bill never he never let the pressure get to him. He was calm, cool, and collected. And a lot of times, I just think the Niners won the game before we even stepped on the field. Obviously, it took the heroics of Joe Montana, to win this Super Bowl, and Jerry's, at that time record Super Bowl performance. It was the way Bill Walsh prepared his team, and he had them ready for the big moment. So it wasn't a 92-yard drive to win the Super Bowl. It was just a normal drive like in training camp, because they practice everything so much. And I think that's why Bill Walsh is the greatest coach. And I think you saw it in this game in particularly because Bill Walsh was so prepared that he had to do very little coaching in the game. They talked about him when he was an assistant coach at Cincinnati. There was a game in Oakland, and he had to. It was the final plays of the game, and the crowd got to him. He admitted that the crowd got to him, and it got in his head, and he crumbled under the pressure. And he said that he would never let that happen again. And he talked about how he would always be so prepared that he would never have to make that decision in the moment. He have everything prepared. Hey, if this happens, we're going to do this. If this happens, we're going to do that. And I think that that's one thing I like about Kyle Shanahan, and I think he got from Bill Walsh is the Niners seem prepared. Very rarely have we seen the Niners not prepared. And so I think, you know, going over this game and studying the '89 season like I did, it was great to see that after a 10-6 record. I mean, here we went 4-2 after our fourth win, lost in overtime, win, lost against the Chicago Bears, win against the Vikings, which was this famous Steve Young run, lost back-to-back game against Arizona, or Phoenix Cardinals back then, which we blew that 23-0 lead at halftime. Uh, Lost against the Raiders 9-6 or 9-3. And then we literally did not lose another game except the last game of the year against the Yams at home. But it was a meaningless game. We had already clinched the division, and so you're seeing that Bill Walsh's teams didn't peak too early, and to keep the team together in that season of difficulty. I mean, it was a lot of teams. I think you would have seen crumpled, and if it was a younger team that didn't have the leadership, you would have saw it crumble. But because of our veteran leadership, we had players that have been through the ringer at that point, you were able to see that that veteran leadership really signed through. I mean, there's a speech in the America's Game. I've referenced that a lot. Y'all might as well go watch it. But in the America game, they talked about against the Vikings. Joe had spoken, and Roger Craig was like, Joe didn't speak a lot. Joe wasn't a rah rah guy, but when Joe spoke, you listened, and he goes, you could hear a pin drop in that locker room. And Joe talked about, hey, many weeks teams that blow out a team, show up and they look like crap the next week. That's not going to happen to this ball club. And right there, you saw Joe, a little bit of fiery leadership for him. He's Joe Cool. He's Mr. Calm, collected, never got really too fired up. But right there, you saw him. Hey, I'm Joe Montana. This is my football team, and I'm not going to let my team come in slacking in the macking next week. And I think that I love the story of the '88 Niners so much. It's just it's a great story. I mean, you can't seem to write that in the Cinderella. Bill Walsh gets carried off the field, and oh no, my bad. That was the year he didn't get carried off the field. I don't think, but Bill Walsh riding off in the sunset, and he was still recovering from cracked ribs earlier in the year in that Phoenix Arizona game or Phoenix Arizona Phoenix Cardinals game. He had gotten two ribs cracked because two players ran into him full speed, and Bill Walsh wasn't a young chicken at this point, and so it cracked two ribs, and so he talked about how it hurt like hell, and he had to coach with that, and so I think that's another leadership aspect of Bill Walsh is that if your coach is out there with cracked ribs and had to be helped on the team playing after because he felt dizzy and everything like that, hey, you know who are we? Steve Young had talked about how if he won that game in Arizona or in Phoenix, that he was probably would have been the starting quarterback the rest of the season. And it was the fans, the team, and Bill Walsh that willed Joe Montana to start the next week. I personally think that I believe what Mike Holmgren has always said, which is they walked in and Bill Walsh asked what would they take for a trade for Joe Montana. Everybody else said you're smoking rocks, and he had talked to Mike Holmgren and was like, "What do you think's wrong with the team?" And he said, "You're messing with the quarterbacks. If you leave in the quarterback, you know it will be fine." And lo and behold, we went and except for a meaningless game the last week of the year, we didn't lose another game the rest of the season. And you know they in the interview, Mike Holmgren said he never messed with the quarterbacks again. Well, that's because he probably wasn't the coach, and who knows what would have happened in '89 with you know who knows what would have happened in '89 if Bill Walsh remained the coach. That's neither here nor there. But I think it's very important to have this game and Bill Walsh's tenure because I mean it was perfection. And also, we all know about the controversy of the Jerry Rice saying, if I had been a white quarterback, they would have done I'm going to Disneyland commercial with me and everything like that, which is honestly one of the reasons why Steve Young's my favorite quarterback. Is because Steve, if I ever get to interview Steve Young, I'm going to ask him that question. I'm going to be like, hey, is the reason you pulled Jerry and said, hey, Jerry, where are we going? And they said, we're going to Disneyland together. Is that because he didn't get the chance to do it in '89, '88 or '89, however you want to look at it? I've always been very, very curious about that. And it's definitely something that I would like to know. I mean, but Jerry had finished with a record at that point of scroll it up right here. I know I just seen it. Sorry, y'all. This is so unprofessional. Why does it not say Jerry Rice's name right there? Oh, okay, here we go. He received the game with 11 catches, 215 yards, and one touchdown with a long of 44. All were Super Bowl records except the one touchdown. That obviously wasn't. Before we finish this, the rest of this, we're gonna go ahead and take one more commercial break, and we shall be right back. I'm not gonna make the rookie mistake and unmute my mic this or keep my mic muted this time, but it's yet again as we're looking back through the stats. Uh, One of my favorite plays of the game is somebody who was born in '86. And I'll admit I didn't see much of Ronnie Lott's career, if any. I don't really remember. But watching this game, I really remember just I took a couple notes. And I remember looking down at my notes and it's like Ronnie Lott was just everywhere. And I think that that's just you know obviously I've watched tons of highlights of his career and everything like that. I mean, look, it's the greatest safety in team history, probably maybe one of the greatest safeties that ever play the game, or at least the hardest hitting safety that ever played the game. I would like to think, but I remember there was a play where he just like jumped over a pile and just head first into the pile, and I was just like, man, Ronnie Lott, like you cannot. I just to me, Ronnie Lott is I always say he's my favorite defensive player in team history. Although I didn't watch his career at BY and Patrick Willis are close, 1A or 1B and 1C. But Ronnie Lott, to me, I mean, the mentality that this man had, and you saw it just flash across the screen in Super Bowl 23. I mean, I always say that the man chopped off the tip of his pinky and didn't miss a single play. Okay, well, let's not he came back a couple weeks later or missed the rest of the game. No, he didn't miss a play. And so I say there's a reason that man has 4 championships. Obviously, great Hall of Fame player on a great team on a great defense. But the fact that the man had the dedication to the game to chop off the tip of his pinky and not miss a play. I mean, I would like to say that that's probably I wouldn't say the highest factor, but pretty close to the top 5 factors of the reason why that man had 4 championships. And you know what? You can make an argument. I believe that the Niners would have won 6, or 5 with Ronnie Lott. If he just remained on the team, I don't. The Niners still would have won 5 championships, maybe even more, if Ronnie Lott was still on the team and didn't leave in free agency. So, if anybody has any comments about '89 Super Bowl, or Super Bowl 23, go ahead and leave them in the comment section and everything right there. Kind of would like to, get everything started and see. But want to know how y'all feeling. Uh, we got a little bit of Niner news to get into tomorrow. Make sure you tune in to Faithful Talk, where every faithful has a voice, and anybody wants to join is more than welcome to join. We want to get as many faithful on Faithful Talk as possible. Uh, but let me know your favorite moments from the '88 season in the comments right there and everything like that, and we'll go ahead and read them off as we get some. And I want to know what stood out to you most about the '88 Super Bowl, even if you weren't alive. Maybe it was watching the highlights with your grandpa as a kid, or you know, maybe you got a Super Bowl 23 championship T-shirt as a baby or something like that. I always like to hear the stories of the faithful. But going back and looking at more of the stats, Joe, not the world's greatest game, 23 of 36 for 357 yards and two touchdowns. Not bad on 115.2 rating. Was sacked three times, had four rushing attempts for 13 yards, had two fumbles but didn't lost them. That of Joe Montana. Roger Craig, who, you know, we all know about what happened in the 90 NFC Championship game, but, he had a fumble with the fumble loss. Even John Taylor had a fumble, but he didn't lose it. And it's kind of funny to see that we're noted as this offense, high octane offense, but we only scored two touchdowns the whole game. And John Taylor literally only had one catch for 10 yards, and it was the only catch that mattered. Um, let's give some defensive players some love. Let's go look at some stats from the defensive player. Bill Romanowski with the pick. Let me see. Yeah, the only pick of the game. Interesting. Ronnie Lott. Let's see how many tackles. Four combined tackles, four solo. See right there, just four tackles, all solo. Just tells you a lot. Michael Carter, who, if you look, and I want to say it was this Super Bowl, there was a false start. Let me see. I want to say it was the drive before the drive. Yes. So Larry Kruger had said a story that Michael Carter, on third down, it was. I'll look at it. I see it right here. Um, it was on 1st and 10. There was a false start, and that caused Cincinnati to be obviously penalized for 5 yards. Ickey Woods gets 4 yards. Boomer Science's pass intended for James Brooke was incomplete, and that caused. And then Stanford Jennings went for 3 yards, who was tackled by Pierce Holt, and that held them to the field goal. That instead of making it 20-13, made it 16-13, and allowed the Niners to go ahead and win it with a touchdown. And so that's a little underknown play. Like everybody talks about the catch, and everybody talks about Ronnie Eric Wright's tackle on Drew Pearson in the 81 championship game. But everybody always everybody talks about the fumble. I'm sorry, uh, but nobody talks about Eric Wright's tackle. And so I think that Michael Carter, saying that hut hut, and faking out the center and the offensive line to cause that false start to push them back 5 yards. That's a huge play, and that's the type of. I mean, I want to give Michael Carter. I want to shake his hand. I want to meet him and tell him, thank you for that. Because here at Niner Faithful Radio, we like to appreciate the unsung heroes. We like to appreciate the Mike Wilsons who have four rings, and we like to appreciate all the underrated players, or the Mike Schumans who have four rings, all the underrated players that play in Niner history that don't get the credit, and that I mean, if they get that first down right there, they can wind more time off the clock. Who knows? They could score a touchdown. That means we can only tie it with a touchdown. And does Bill Walsh go for two? And do they stop us with two? I mean, the scenarios, we never know what could have happened. Does Bill Walsh obviously going to call a different game plan, knowing that you're going to call the game different, saying, hey, you know what? We need a field goal to tie, a touchdown to win. So let's get, you're going to call the game plan versus like, hey, we need a touchdown regardless just to tie the game. You're going to call the game a lot different than if you're like, hey, let's not be too crazy because we only need a field goal to tie. So, yeah, we're going to try to score that touchdown to win, but we're also going to know that we only need that field goal. So we're not going to do anything crazy or stupid, to risk turning the ball over. Although, yeah, Joe did almost turn the ball over, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. That's why he plays DB and not receiver next time catch the ball. I bet you he learned you don't give Joe Montana second chances. I mean, you get a chance to get your hand on a Joe Montana ball, especially in the Super Bowl when he never threw a pick in the Super Bowl. You had a chance to make history right there. throw the first pick on Joe Montana's Super Bowl resume and hand him his first L. Yeah, nah, you don't give second chances like that. You gotta take advantage of chances like that. So we got a couple more minutes here. We're gonna go until about 4 o'clock. Uh, not seeing any comments. I see 5 people watching. Go ahead and leave the comments. Let me know your favorite moments from Super Bowl 23. Uh, Tank or Chubba Wubba and Miss Cheese, stop trying to kill each other. Kitties are trying to be famous. They're trying to let the world know how they feel about the '89 Super Bowl. Chubba, you want to tell the world what you feel about the '89 Super Bowl? No? Okay. He's over there trying to kill his sister. Chubbas! Um, anyway, can't let the cats kill each other. Uh, but yeah, so, it's shocking sometimes to look back and see some of the names in Niner history, like Bill Romanowski. And, sometimes people forget he was a Niner, and it was in '94 with the cap restraints, with the salary cap. We weren't able to sign our rookie class, and that's one of the reasons we had to trade Bill Romanowski, was so we could get under the cap, so we could sign, that rookie class. And so a lot of people, he's obviously famously known as a Bronco and a Raider, but a lot of people forget he started his career in red and gold, won 2 Super Bowls with the Niners. And so a lot of people seem to forget that. Going back through another couple of the defensive statistics. Kick and pass. John Taylor only had 1 return for 13 yards. Interesting. Interesting. Mike Cofer. I think that's another unreally spoken because we won the game or anything like that. But Mike Cofer might he be one of the worst, best kickers in Niner history? I mean, he missed half his field goal attempts, and if he hits on a couple of those field goals, this game isn't even as close as it was. It's a 19-16 game, and obviously we don't know how the game would have turned out. But we're probably trying to run the clock out on that final series instead of trying to, win the game. We're trying to run the clock out. Let me see. Do I have any comments on Twitter or people watching on Face? Okay, sorry. I thought I saw something crazy right now. What's the sound alerts button? I don't know. I'm kind of trying to figure out the Twitch stream manager. Let's see what this. Edit your extensions while being live. Engage with your audience. View my extensions. I wonder what that does. What extensions we have? One component. I don't even know what this is. Okay, I'm not gonna mess with it because Mom always taught me not don't mess with stuff you don't know what it is. Let me see. Bitrate. I don't even know. Followers 18. 2 subscribers. Hey, we got 2 subscribers. What's a watch party? Let's see what a watch party is. Your watch party just seems to connect. Prime Video account. Yeah, okay, never mind. We're not doing all that. What can we add over here? Start a watch party, manage a poll. Oh, we can add a poll. That's dope. Stream marker with description. Add markers with descriptions. Well, I have to look at all this. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Grow your community. Rate a channel. Start a rerun. Huh. Channel points. I'll have to look into all this. Very, very interesting. Huh, you can run more than a 30-minute break or 30-second break. That's very interesting. We're going to have to dig into this a little bit more. Okay. So, oh, that's dope. We can do a ticker on here. Okay. Please subscribe to Twitch. What's this? Use bonuses. Huh. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm messing around with this, and this seems pretty cool. Please check out NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop. Hey, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, of course, Twitch. Hey, we got Niner Faithful Radio on Twitch. This is dope. I like this. Meeting folder, delete folder. Huh. Okay, we got another comment here. Let's go. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I know, Jason. The pretty awesome stuff right here. So Jason, you probably remember the '89 Super Bowl. Uh, what are some of your favorite moments from the '89 Super Bowl? We'll go ahead and show that on screen right now and everything like that. We're gonna have to really mess around with this stuff a lot. Oh, maybe we might not have to go to StreamYard. um, I might have to do some things. Let me see. Upload a video clip. Oh, okay. Yeah, we might have to do some things with this. Um, I'll give Jason a second to answer. But we appreciate everybody turning in today. Definitely been a blast. Oh, now it won't go away. Here we go. Comments. Oh, hey Jamie. I thought you were Jason. My bad. Okay, so it's Jamie. Jamie, you weren't alive in the '89 Super Bowl, but I'm pretty sure you watched the highlights or anything like that. What do you think of the '89 Super Bowl? I'm over here calling you Jason, and if that some boss I am can't even get my employees right. Oh Lord. Uh yeah, y'all. This is what happens when your boy does a solo show for an hour. We so get off topic. But I hope everybody's enjoying the show. Please, if you could think of anything we could do better, we are aiming to be a professional show. You know, I tell people all the time, this isn't a hobby for us here at Niner Faithful Radio. This is my business. This is what we want to do for a living. We have people that work for us, and we're trying to be able to help pay their bills. So that we can put together better content for y'all. Matter of fact, I have to add the Patreon. Um, I want everybody to, of course, remember to go to patreon.com/Niner Faithful Radio to join our Patreons. You get all sorts of benefits with that. I wonder if this is how everybody feels trying to do an hour show. I've done an hour show solo bolo before. Um, so anybody else want to give thoughts on Super Bowl 23? Should have communicated that better. Business. It never stops running. It never stops running. Also, we're actually just wrapping up. That's what we're talking about right now. Go to ninerfaithfulradio.com/blogs. We're going to be putting up Dylan's article of the offensive line breakdown here later today. And that's what we will be breaking down with on Tuesday for Niner Faithful Radio. Well, I guess technically it's tomorrow. We're going to be putting it out at midnight. I've got the blog already, blog graphics already edited and everything like that. But yeah, as always, please everybody, let us know anything that we could do better. We are definitely trying to make this better. We are gonna add Niner Faithful Radio merch, although we've had it before, but we're gonna add some new stuff. We got For the Faithful, By the Faithful clothing line coming out here in a little over a month. We're gonna be launching that. We're obviously gonna be giving away some goodies throughout the shows this week, so make sure you tune into that. Let me see. Anything else I should tell people about? Make sure you support all your faithful businesses out there. Hit up our people at Graphics Monger on Facebook. Um, let's see. Okay, you know what? We got to go get the kitties. We're going to go ahead and run another ad break, and we'll be right uh, back. Temple Webber, you're making the ad like my third ad break. Okay? You need to stop being a chubba who is a wubba. Okay? Come on, we're gonna show everybody the chubba dance. Okay. Let's show everybody the chubba dance. Because I think all the girlies are gonna love it. All right. Hold on. We're still running the ad chubba. Hold on. I know. We got 18 seconds. See? Okay, Chubba, hold on. Oh, I know, Chubba, but you can't go kill your sister. And we're back, everybody. This is Chubba Wubba. He wanted to make an appearance. No, now he wants to go kill his sister. No, Chubba, you can't go kill your sister. No. Let's show everybody the Chubba dance. Say, I'm a Chubba, the ladies lover. When I do the Chubba dance, I coon, the ladies swoon, 'cause they don't stand no chance. Yeah, no, you can't go kill your sister, Chubba Wubba. Okay, you can go if you don't kill your sister. Okay. Yeah, Chubba wanted to make an appearance because he's my Chubba Wubba. He and my favorite kitty in the world. Hey, what did I just tell you? Anyway, so you never know who can make an appearance here on Not a Faithful Radio. We got Cass that can make an appearance. A homegirl can come out of her room at any time. Who knows what can happen? But yeah, we promise it'll be better from now on. Uh, please stay patient with y'all. Make sure to subscribe on Twitch. See, you know what? I gotta tell you, bro. Enbridge58, you know, you're just being a little delusional here, bro. Okay, you know we're gonna have to make a bet on this. We're definitely gonna have to think of a bet we're gonna make. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to make a bet because we ain't gonna lose week 7. That's not gonna happen. Although when I did break down the season, I said it. It is a possibility. I could see the Forest Buckner, saying, "Oh, you wanted to trade me for Javon Kinlaw? Okay, let me show you." Because like I was telling you on when we did NFR last week, um, Defoe was supposed to be a lifelong Niner. I mean, the moment we drafted him, I pretty much said I was like, yeah, it's going to come down to him or Eric Armstead, and I'm keeping DeForest Buckner. Just the motor on that man alone is insane. But I'm expecting big things out of Javon Kinlaw this year. D'Amico Ryans, and we'll get a little bit into that on Faithful Talk tomorrow. But D'Amico Ryans did mention Javon Kinlaw as a player that he expected big things from. I mean, if it's a big contest, that's Javon Kinlaw won it by far because that is a big boy. I mean, I think it should be illegal to make human beings that big and that large. Wentz is gonna pass for 5 touchdowns. Oh my god. Oh bro. Hey, thanks, bro. I needed to laugh. Yeah, you know what? 5 touchdowns. Yeah, maybe 5 touchdowns for us. Maybe 5 pick sixes. No, I like Wentz. I think that I think that it's kind of been weird. The years he was doing good, he got hurt. And I mean that Super Bowl year, I believe it was the Super Bowl year. He was the leading candidate for the MVP before he got hurt. And you saw how that Philadelphia team kind of fell apart. And I believe Wentz got a lot of the blame for it. And Philadelphia is a rough town to try to make it in if you're not playing well. Us here in the Bay, we'll boo you, but we'll give you his coach was Frank Wright. Yeah, there you go. Um, I'm curious. I think that it's the best option. I mean, I couldn't think of really any better options for y'all. I mean, you want to give up what the Yams gave up for Matthew Stafford? I mean, we obviously know that some of that was, for taking on Jared Goff's contract, but I'm pretty sure you didn't want Jared Goff. Now, I don't think anybody wants Jared Goff. Um, yeah, I mean, and that and see, that's what I think doesn't isn't talked enough about in football. Um, is the fact of right scheme, right system. I mean, we were just talking about Super Bowl 23. If Bill Walsh, if Joe Montana, no one wants him. His own mother didn't want him. Um, if Joe goes to another team, does he have the career that he has? I think that being with Bill Walsh obviously was going to help any quarterback's career, but you know, Joe is labeled a system quarterback. Well, he always says smartly, "Is it your job to be a system quarterback?" I mean, and yeah, okay, fine. If Joe was asked to throw it 50 yards down the field and 50 times a game, I'm being over dramatic here, but if he was asked to throw it like John Elway all the time, or Dan Marino all the time, yeah, you know what? Maybe his career turns out a little different. Joe didn't have, he had a strong enough arm, but obviously he wasn't Marino or Elway. But to me, why I think Joe's better than any of those quarterbacks is calm, cool, collectedness. You know, I'm sorry, you could say whatever you want about the drive John Elway put in the AFC Championship game against the Browns. Do it in the Super Bowl, which he did. Later on in his career with Terrell Davis. So that's fine, that's awesome. But I'm sorry, you're just not going to get me number better than number 16. All right, well, we're gonna shortly wrap it up here pretty quick. But I also would, before we do, I'd like to get everybody a reminder to go to twitch.tv/Niner Faithful Radio to join all our live streams. If you are an Amazon Prime member, please use your one free subscribe on us. If you want to be able to, but you have to resubscribe every month. And if you want to pay for a subscription, we obviously appreciate that, and it would be greatly appreciated. As always, for the faithful, by the faithful, pre-launch sales coming July 30th. Save 20% on all our designs. Go to ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop for all details. Jamie, you just said the best thing I think you said. He's Joe Cool for a reason. Go to seatgiant.com. Use the promo code NinerFaithfulRadio to save on all your concert, theater, and sporting event tickets. That's seatgiant.com / or promo code NinerFaithfulRadio. Get your officially licensed Niner gear by using our affiliate link. It costs you no more, and it really, really helps out the show. I mean, that's honestly where most of our income comes from. The link to use will be in the description of our videos on YouTube and our show notes as a podcast. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com to check out our interviews with Ian Williams and Mr. Roger Craig. And check out our blogs and previous episodes of all our shows. Make sure you follow us on social media. On Facebook and Instagram, we're at Niner Faithful Radio. And on Twitter, we're at Niner Faithful R. We got about 6 minutes to kill. I'm going to try this channel raid. Let me see. Let's see if I can do this right. Okay, let's try M. Let's look under sports. SP. Oh, 49ers. I give some love. Oh, the real Grant Cohn is on Twitch, huh? Let's give Grant Cohn some love. Oh, he's live now. Okay, so hopefully. All right, hold on. Hopefully this doesn't end my stream. If it does, okay, it's not going to end it. So I think we're good. I can just hit the end when I hit. Wow, God, I can't speak today. It's been a long week, y'all. I appreciate for everybody checking out Red and Gold Rewind. We're gonna go ahead and try to bring somebody else because Phil, I always do better with the co-host, but just couldn't find anybody this week. Make sure you go check out Jamie's episode of Good Morning Niner Empire. She went ahead and broke down. Oh, is the Miss Cheese? Is there a Mrs. Cheese? Oh yes, yeah. No, no. Oh, you're Chubba. Okay. Well, then you can go, Chubba. Chubba, don't leave me. So stop being a Chubba. Chubba Wubba. Yes, I call him Chubba Wubba because he's a fatty. What are you doing? Don't kill your sister. Um, Miss Cheese. Miss Cheese. Oh, well, I thought Miss Cheese would want to make an appearance on the show. Um, we got 4 minutes left. We're really trying to hit those 20 hours a month this month. Um, Also, make sure tomorrow is Faithful Talk, where every faithful has a voice. Tuesday will be Niner Faithful Radio. Wednesday, we have Mr. Primetime with Mr. Nice Guy. And then Friday, we have Good Morning Niner Empire, bright and early with Jamie at 9 a.m. All the shows I do are at 3 p.m. here on the West Coast, and Mr. Primetime with Mr. Nice Guy is at 8 p.m. here on the West Coast, the best coast. Never Harlem Shake 'em. Man, we definitely got to get your boy a co-host. But yeah, let's see. I don't know what that means, Jamie, but I'm assuming it's gonna be something positive. But also, please tell your friends about Niner Faithful Radio. We work very hard. It might not seem like we do, but trust me, we really do. We're what, a 7-man team? Let's see, Jamie, Jason, me, Kim, Jimmy, Dylan, Nate. A 7-man team. You know, 4 of us are. Jamie works really hard at putting all the shows out. Jason does an excellent job of managing our social media. I wouldn't have anybody else be my number 2 besides Ken. And Dylan's doing a great job with our blogs and Primetime with Mr. Nice Guy. So reward us, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me see. What is the session at? The session is at 58 minutes and 4 seconds. So we have about a minute and 10 seconds. Let me see. About 30 seconds, we'll run the outro video. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe as a podcast and on YouTube. And I think, let me see. Oh, there's a delay. Okay, there's a 6:33. Okay, there's about a 3-second delay. So yeah, we're totally losing viewers. I guess y'all can click off if y'all want to. We're just gonna run the outro video here in a little bit. Just kind of making sure we creep that hour. Definitely want to get our hours in this month. We really appreciate Twitch giving us this opportunity. Hopefully, we're not disappointing y'all. So we're about to get up out of here, but before we do, I'd like to say, as always, for Super Duper Moderator Kim, Jamie, Jason, Nate, Jimmy, Dylan, and myself, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to the first ever episode of Red and Gold Rewind. We'll see you tomorrow on Faithful Talk. Till then, yes, we love Twitch. Awesomely said, Jamie. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell, intercepted! The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption! Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown! No greater redemption than a man's seat. Navarro Bowman, who could not cover an onside kick, catches a deflected pass for an interception and runs it 7 miles for a touchdown.
You are now tuned in to Red and Gold Rewind, exclusively streamed at twitch.tv/Niner Faithful Radio.